A rare moment in automotive history has just changed hands, and it did so without spectacle, without exaggeration, and with enormous significance. Ferrari collector David Lee has added one of the most important cars ever built to his collection, a Ferrari 250 GTO, after winning the auction at Mecum Kissimmee for $38.5 million. With that purchase, David Lee becomes the new custodian of chassis 3729 GT, a car whose importance extends far beyond its price. This is not just another Ferrari 250 GTO, it is a singular example, one that exists in a category of its own. Previously, the car was owned by Jon Shirley, who had held it since 1999. Over more than 2 decades, Shirley became known not just as an owner, but as a steward. The car was never treated as a speculative asset or a restoration project, it was preserved. That preservation is a defining part of why this moment matters. Chassis 3729 GT carries a distinction no other Ferrari 250 GTO can claim. It is the only example ever finished from the factory in Bianco Speciale, a white exterior color that immediately separates it from the Rosso Corsa image most people associate with Ferrari. That single detail fundamentally changes the car's identity. In the uppermost tier of collectors, uniqueness often matters more than numbers. The Ferrari 250 GTO is already one of the rarest and most desirable automobiles ever produced. But this specification elevates the car beyond rarity into singularity. There is no second example. There is no comparison point. And unlike many historic cars of this stature, this Ferrari 250 GTO has never been restored. Instead, it has been carefully maintained and preserved, retaining an extraordinary level of originality that matters deeply in the collector world. Restoration, even when done to the highest standards, introduces interpretation. Preservation maintains truth. This car still tells its own uninterrupted story. That story includes real competition history. Chassis 3729 GT was not merely displayed or ceremonially raced. It was driven in period by legendary figures including Graham Hill and Jack Sears. Those names are not footnotes. They are chapters written directly into the car's history. The Ferrari 250 GTO was built for racing, homologated, refined, and developed through real competition. Every example carries some form of motorsport legacy, but few combine factory unique specification, untouched originality, and documented use by drivers of this caliber. That combination is what collectors spend lifetimes searching for. David Lee's acquisition is notable not simply because of the price, but because of what it represents. Lee is known as a serious Ferrari collector, someone who understands not just market value, but historical responsibility. By confirming the purchase publicly, he acknowledged that responsibility. Because ownership at this level is not about possession, it is about custodianship. Cars like this are not meant to be reinvented, they are meant to be protected. Every decision made from this point forward becomes part of the car's living record: how it is shown, how it is driven, how it is preserved. The price, $38.5 million, dollars, is staggering in isolation. But within the world of elite Ferraris, it reflects something deeper. The Ferrari 250 GTO is widely regarded as the pinnacle of collectible automobiles. It represents the intersection of racing success, design purity, mechanical excellence, and cultural mythology. Values at this level are driven less by markets and more by permanence. There will never be another Ferrari 250 GTO, and there will never be another one like this. The fact that this car remained with a single owner for more than 25 years adds another layer of significance. Long term ownership suggests restraint, care, and continuity. It tells future generations that the car was not passed from hand to hand, altered, or diluted. Now, as it enters a new chapter, the focus shifts forward. Where will it be shown? How will it be exercised? How will its originality be protected? Those questions matter because cars of this caliber shape how automotive history is experienced. Whether displayed at concours events, museums, or private exhibitions, this Ferrari 250 GTO carries educational weight as much as visual presence. This transaction also reinforces an important truth about the collector world. At its highest levels, it is not driven by trends or short term speculation. It is driven by scarcity, authenticity, and story. This car has all three: factory unique specification, unrestored originality, documented racing history, decades of careful stewardship. It checks every box. For most people, the Ferrari 250 GTO exists as legend: a name, a number, a symbol of unreachable automotive perfection. Moments like this remind us that these cars are still real objects, still cared for, still moving forward through time. David Lee did not simply buy a Ferrari, he assumed guardianship of one of the most important machines ever built. And with that transfer, one of the greatest stories in automotive history continues, unchanged in its essence, but newly entrusted to the next chapter.